Hoardganize Podcast. I am your host, professional organizer Rachel Seavey, and it's time to get organized. Hey collectors, how's it going? It's me, Rachel, and today we're talking about taking action. This is Massive Action is the cure-all for clutter episode. It's how to take control of your home. And it might seem like just a really kind of obvious thing to say, or just kind of, oh, wow, that's really, yeah. But you really do have to take action if you want your home to be decluttered. I mean, I love that you're listening to my podcast. I love that you buy books about organizing. I love that you try and educate yourself as much as you can about getting organized. But massive action is a cure-all for clutter. Now, if you don't know what your target is, if you don't know where you want to be organizationally, then it's really hard to get there. So my job is to coach you on where to begin, how to get started, and how to create the organized life that you truly, truly desire. It's, you might be taking massive action, but you might be applying it in a different way than you need to be. And you just end up spinning your wheels and getting even more frustrated and less inclined to do stuff. And, taking massive action can be kind of scary. It means you have to get off of your butt. It means that you have to rearrange your schedule. It means that you have to make time to get organized, my dear collectors. So what I want you to do is I want you to get some paper, pen, and we're going to try and come up with a massive action plan for you here on this podcast. Now, as you know, you can always contact me directly. I'm at the collectorcare.com website under Rachel Seavey. I do clutter coaching. I come up with organizational plans for people all of the time. But this little episode is geared to get you started on creating your own massive action plan. So go ahead and get some paper, get a pen, because I really want you to take notes and start designing the life that you truly desire. So tip number 1 is design your outcome. What is your organizational outcome? When all is said and done, when all of this is freaking over with, what is your house going to be like? I mean, some people want their home spick and span and color-coded and labeled. My house isn't at that level of organization. I know that I have some colleagues that are just mad about labels and bins and all that. I'm kind of a minimalist, so the less stuff that I have, the happier I am. But what about you? Does it make you happy to maybe have your collections out? Like maybe you're not a minimalist. Maybe it isn't spick and span. Maybe you have nice bookshelves and all your books are on there, or all your records, or a craft room. What is your organizational plan for yourself? What is the outcome? What do you desire? What do you want to see? Are you going to be less embarrassed to have people over? Are you going to have family and friends over to your house finally? Are you going to be able to leave on time because you're not looking for your keys or your phone? Really sit down, and on your first page, I really want you to take some time to design your organizational outcome. This is the target that you want to hit. It's really hard to hit a target if you haven't created it, if you don't know what you're shooting for. You just kind of just shooting everywhere, but you really want to create the life that you truly desire. And what is it going to mean to you? Is it going to be that you have people over? Is it that you can find things? Is it that you are out the door fast? Make sure that you write down all of the benefits that your outcome will bring so that you're encouraged to get organized. You want to know what it is that you're driving for. Is it, everything has a place, or is it just things are safer, or what is your personal organizational goal? Number 2, understand why you want to be organized. What does this mean to you? Once your home is this way that you desire, number 2 is why. Here you go again. You have more time. You'll have less shame. So you really want to, step 1, write down what you want your home to look like and be like and feel like. And then step 2 is why. What is this going to bring? What is its purpose? Why are you shooting for the stars? What is it going to give back to you? So step number 2, take some time, pause the audio, pause the video, and just start writing down what will be organized mean to you. Tip number 3. This is where you come up with your plan of action. And it's hard because people get paralyzed. Like, where do I start? There's stuff everywhere. And I hear that all the time. So coming up with a plan of action, what is it going to take in order for you to hit that target on your tip number 1? What is the easiest area to tackle? So what I like to do, and I describe this in a lot of my earlier podcasts, so it's kind of a refresher, is I like to kind of break the house down into chunks, into projects, and I usually like to do it room by room. So take some time, this will be your 3rd page, and write down room by room, what is it going to take for each room to get organized? Or if you have a certain room in mind, maybe it's your craft room or your office or your master bedroom or even just your closet. You know, you can even micro chunk it and say, okay, well, what part of this room is where I want to start? I always suggest that people go with a low-hanging fruit. You know, it's great. It gets you in the door. You say, okay, where's my trash? Where's recycling? Where's things that I know right now 100% that I can get rid of? That is a great place to start, wherever that is. So I want you to take some time and write down and break your projects. And maybe most of your house is organized, but it's just your craft room that you want organized. Or maybe your whole house is a mess, but you want to start in your pantry. Where is a good place? Where is an easy place for you to start this journey? It doesn't have to be paperwork. First of all, paperwork is not an easy place to start. You could spend 8 hours going through your paperwork and it looks like nothing got done. It might actually look worse. So I actually don't recommend starting with your paperwork. You want to start somewhere easy, like maybe your medicine cabinet, or maybe, and it's okay if there's medicine all over the house. I get it. It's not going to be perfect. It's not one of these only handle it once things. I don't believe in that. You know, if you feel like tackling your medicine cabinet is a great place to start, then that's where you should start and write it down. I like to suggest to people to, on each room, I mean, you're not having anyone over anyway, so what does it matter what it looks like, right? Each room, tape up, you know, step by step on what you need to do to make it happen. You've got to start taking action. You've got to start taking control of the clutter in your home. Otherwise, if you just kind of say, okay, I took Saturday off, I don't know where to start, you might start with laundry, you might go to paperwork, you might just get distracted and start watching TV. You don't have a plan. So the idea of this episode is to have you at least think about creating an organizational plan, whether you hire me as your clutter coach and we come up with a plan together, or you just simply take some time to write down, number 1, what is your outcome? What does your home look like when it's organized? Number 2, why do you want it to be like that? What is the purpose? What is driving you to get this done? And number 3, you've got to come up with a plan. Where are you going to start? How are you going to do it? And you've got to prioritize areas and make it easier for you and break them down into chunks so that you don't look at this whole overwhelming mess as like, oh my God, where do I start? Well, you're going to come up with a plan on where to start. And that's how you're going to succeed. And that's how you're going to get through this. And you're going to follow these simple steps. 1, write down what your organizational dream looks like. 2, why? Why do you want it so bad? What will it bring to you so that you know and you can hold it in your heart that this is why I want to get organized. And number 3, I want you to just break down your house into chunks, whether you're doing it by room, whether you're doing it by areas in a room. You've got to start coming up with a plan. You've got to start prioritizing so that you can take action. And action is what is the cure-all for all clutter. It's great to sit around and listen and talk about this and strategize, but you've got to take massive action. And it really helps if you have an action plan. So another thing that I like to talk about is scheduling. You've got to take the time to actually pull up your calendar. So if you've written down steps 1, 2, and 3, which, you know, like I said, pause this audio, pause the video, and actually take the time to write these things down. you've got to schedule it into our busy schedules. You know, a lot of us, like I said, we sit and we talk about what we're going to do. We should do this. We should get organized. We should lose weight. We should, be nicer to our neighbors. And we just should all over ourselves. It's time to take action. So I want you to right now pull up your iPhone or your scheduler or your, if you have a paper calendar or whatever it is, I want you to start scheduling in when you're going to address these chunks of clutter that you're going to process and move out of your house. Another thing that you've really got to do is you've got to raise your standards. Now, what does that mean? I mean, a lot of us have really high standards. I know a lot of you are PhDs. You've got your master's degree. I mean, you've got really high standards, a lot of you already. But you're not applying it when it comes to your home. You're not making it a priority to get organized. Now, I run a really busy company. I have the same 24 hours in the day that you have. I look at a lot of my organized colleagues and my organized friends, and we all have these high standards about what we want our home to look like, what we want our home to feel like, how we want to feel when we come back to our home from a long day of work. And so what's different is our standards. Like, you could look around, it's same with working out and people that exercise at a gym. If you go to a gym and you look around, people are physically fit. It's not because they have more time in the day than you or because they don't work as hard as you. It's because they have higher standards about what their health should look like. So you look around and these people are spending 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day at the gym, 3-4 times a week. And you can tell because their bodies are physically fit and they are healthy. Same with being organized. I have the same 24 hours in the day as you do. I'm a single mom. I have to work my tail off to live here in the Bay Area. It's so freaking expensive. And then, I have my busy company that I run. I've got 2 dogs that are right now barking, and still with all this going on, I still make the time to do my laundry. I still make the time to do my dishes. I still make the time to go through all my paperwork and make sure that my house is clean and organized so that I feel complete when I come home after a long day, so that my son feels comfy and great when he comes home from his long days at school, so we both can have friends and family over and enjoy our home with other people. So those kind of reasons are why my standards are so high, and yours could be easily just as high. So if you just sit around and complain how messy your house is and you're not taking action, your house is going to remain messy. It's just not going to clean up itself. I know we all wish we had one of those, bewitched people where they just rub their little nose and the whole place cleans up, but we don't actually have that. So you've got to take massive action. You've got to start creating an organizational plan. You've got to put it on your schedule, and you've got to get off the couch and actually do the work. It's not easy, but once you start creating that space and start enjoying your home, it's going to make you want to do it even more. It's going to really drive you to get organized and take even more action. And wow, I was able to, get my pantry done in this one day. That's great. Maybe next week I'll do my laundry room. And it really sets you up for success when you have that kind of an organizational plan in place. So just a quick recap. Number 1, you want to write down what your organized home will look like. What is it going to be like? Is it so tidy that not a thing's out of place? Or do you still have all your stuff out, but you love it and you can see what you have and you can access it easily? Tip number 2, why? Why do you want to get organized? Write down all of the wonderful benefits on why you want to hit this organizational target. Number 3, you've got to schedule it and you've got to take action. You've got to make sure that you are on board, that you're doing the work, that you're getting up. If you've got to get up an hour early, if you got to stay up an hour later than normal to get the stuff done, that you are taking the action that's required to get organized. I have to remind you, I know a lot of people get frustrated because they just want their home to be organized, but they're not actually taking action. They're procrastinating. They're doing other things instead, and then they're sitting around feeling bad and regretful and sorry for themselves. So the big step here is to create a plan. You got to chunk up your house. You got to figure out what room is easy, what part of that room is easy. You want to write it down. You want to tape it up on the wall. You want to make sure that you are 100% ready for your massive action plan, that you know what you're going to tackle on what day, at what time, and actually get it done. Okay, collectors. So if you are watching this on YouTube, please make sure that you are subscribed. That is just a wonderful thing to me whenever I get new subscribers. It makes me feel amazing. Also, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and make sure that you have your notification bell on. You know, sometimes I put out videos and I don't have them on my Sunday night schedule. They're just out. So put your notification bell on. And if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure that you follow me on Instagram. I'm under @CollectorCare1. I'm on Facebook under Collector Care. Go ahead and share the love. And remember, collectors, happiness is a place between too little and too much.